Hello, welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about autism, what it is, briefly, diagnostic traits/criteria. What is autism? It's complicated. I mean, it's becoming more complicated. Before I want to try and tell you what autism is, I want to add a disclaimer. I am not an expert in autism. This is all personal research that I've done, and people get their master's, PhDs on this topic. So I'll link some of my source material in the description box if you want to look into it further. On the CDC website, it describes autism as a developmental disability. That's generally the case. You'll see it as a developmental disability. It's something that happens during your development as a child. With that disability comes social communication and behavioral challenges. And it used to have sort of three major classifications. They updated it to autism spectrum disorder, abbreviated ASD, which was just autistic disorder, pervasive developmental disorder, and Asperger's syndrome. So now it's just kind of all lumped together as ASD. The diagnostic criteria. This is based mostly on the DSM-5 definition. I want to emphasize that these were developed by watching only boys. This was primarily thought to be a male-only diagnosis. First thing, social communication deficits. People with ASD have deficits in these areas. And again, these are broad categories, so you can go into a lot more detail with all of these. 1, social emotional reciprocity, which means the process of exchanging things with other people to gain mutual benefit. When someone does something for you, you feel obligated to return the favor. 2, nonverbal communication. 3, relationships, developing, maintaining, and understanding. In order to be diagnosed with ASD, you have to have deficits in all three of those categories. The second category, repetitive behavior/restricted interests. You have to meet 2 out of the 4. 1, repetitive behaviors in speech, body movements, or with objects. 2, insistence on sameness, rigidity in routine. 3, fixed or intense interests. 4, sensory sensitivities. Those are the basic criteria. They will also look at if they mask, if they camouflage, if they have executive function deficits, speech difficulties, intense and prolonged emotional reactions. In the old ways of thinking, they thought autistic people just didn't have imaginative play because of their play differences. Because the type of play didn't seem imaginative. But digging in further, especially with girls, is they can have imaginative play, and it's actually quite intense and seems to be even more intense than neurotypical children. I know from my own personal experience, my imaginative play was almost as real as reality sometimes. I will be making future videos on my experience with all of these issues, if you're interested. Mostly doing this for me, so if you're watching, cool. On to the differences in sex. For every 4 males that are diagnosed with ASD, 1 female is diagnosed with ASD. Girls have been shown to socially camouflage. They're a lot better at social interactions than boys are, on average. 3 girls have been shown to mask symptoms. They need to do more research with this. They don't exactly know why, other than anecdotal evidence. So in my case, masking symptoms in order to appear more normal, in order to fit in better, because I cared about fitting in, because I cared about being like everybody else. So there's a huge potential for girls to be underdiagnosed. The discrepancy between boys and girls might not actually be that large. Girls tend to be less aggressive, less violent, also more internalized. On average, girls have more advanced interpersonal, emotional, and social skills. There's a huge lack of females in research. It's frustrating for me because I'm trying to find this information. I'm trying to find more information about myself, and it doesn't exist. It's mostly in the unknown. I want to add too, I'm also still trying to get a good grasp on how I feel about autism, what it means to me, because there's a lot of negative stuff out there. I'm finding out more and more. And a lot of people and research focused on a cure. You can't cure autism. You are born with it. You can't catch it. And it's lifelong. It's who the person is. It's something that happens in their development from birth. It's a different way of viewing the world around you. It's only not normal in the context of present society. And certain behaviors are weird only in the context of the society you live in. I'm coming to terms with my personal feelings on this journey that I'm on. Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap up there. Love yourself, be kind to yourself, and catch you on the flip side.